Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of ancient Rome, was not your typical emperor. Imagine a man wielding immense power, ruling over the vast Roman Empire, yet spending his nights by the flickering light of an oil lamp, writing down his deepest thoughts, not for glory, not for the admiration of the masses, but for himself. That's Marcus Aurelius, a man who, despite having the weight of the world on his shoulders, sought wisdom over wealth, clarity over chaos, and virtue over vanity. His private journal, which we now call Meditations, was never meant to be published, yet it stands today as one of the most profound philosophical texts ever written. The fascinating part: it wasn't written by a cloistered scholar in the quiet of academia, but by a man leading armies, battling plagues, and navigating the treacherous waters of politics. Let's step back for a moment. Imagine the year is 161 AD. The Roman Empire is booming, yet it's also teetering on the edge of chaos. Marcus Aurelius has just become emperor, reluctantly stepping into a role he never desired. Yes, reluctantly. Unlike the ambitious Caesars before him, Marcus didn't crave power. Instead, he viewed leadership as a duty, a heavy burden placed upon his shoulders by fate. Born into a wealthy and noble family, Marcus could have easily indulged in luxury. Picture marble palaces, endless feasts, and the kind of decadence that defines Roman opulence. But Marcus was different. Even as a young boy, he preferred simplicity. He famously slept on a hard mat on the floor, rejecting the lavish comforts of aristocracy. Why? Because he believed that discipline and self-control were the keys to a virtuous life. Now here's where it gets even more intriguing. Marcus wasn't just a ruler, he was a Stoic philosopher. Stoicism, in case you're unfamiliar, is all about mastering your mind and emotions. It teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. Think about that for a moment. A man ruling over millions, constantly dealing with wars, conspiracies, and natural disasters, practicing a philosophy that emphasizes inner peace in the face of chaos. Sounds like something out of a modern self-help book, doesn't it? But Marcus didn't just preach these ideas, he lived them. One of the most remarkable aspects of Marcus Aurelius is his ability to remain calm under pressure. Let's dive into one of the most stressful periods of his reign, the Antonine Plague. This was a pandemic that swept through the Roman Empire, killing millions. Imagine being the leader of a civilization during such a catastrophic event. Instead of panicking or pointing fingers, Marcus turned to his Stoic principles. He reminded himself, and by extension his people, that suffering is a part of life. In Meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." These words, written nearly 2,000 years ago, feel eerily relevant today, don't they? But let's not paint Marcus as some perfect, unshakable hero. He was human, just like you and me. He faced doubts, fears, and frustrations. As you read his Meditations, you can almost hear the weariness in his words, the exhaustion of a man, trying to reconcile his philosophical ideals with the harsh realities of ruling an empire. Yet what makes him so inspiring is that he never gave up. He constantly reminded himself to rise above his circumstances. For instance, he would reflect on how fleeting life is, writing, "Soon you will have forgotten the world, and soon the world will have forgotten you." This wasn't a nihilistic thought. For Marcus, it was a call to focus on what truly matters, being good, just, and virtuous. Now let's talk about his humility. Marcus Aurelius had every reason to be arrogant. He was the most powerful man in the world, after all. Yet he constantly reminded himself to stay grounded. He would write, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." These are not the words of a man intoxicated by power. They are the reflections of someone who understands the impermanence of life. It's almost as if Marcus was trying to remind himself and us not to get caught up in the trivialities of life, but to focus on what truly matters. What's even more fascinating is how Marcus dealt with his enemies. As emperor, he faced constant threats, both external and internal. Yet, instead of harboring hatred or seeking revenge, he practiced compassion. He believed that even those who wronged him were acting out of ignorance rather than malice. In Meditations, he wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." Imagine starting your day with that mindset. Instead of being shocked or offended by negativity, Marcus prepared himself to face it with understanding and patience. And speaking of enemies, let's not forget the wars. Marcus Aurelius spent much of his reign on the battlefield, defending the empire from invading tribes. Yet, even in the harsh conditions of war, he found time to write. Picture this for a moment: a weary emperor surrounded by the chaos of a military camp, scribbling down his thoughts on virtue, duty, and the meaning of life. It's almost poetic, isn't it? His ability to find moments of introspection amidst the noise of war is a testament to his dedication to philosophy. But why does any of this matter today? Why should we care about the musings of a Roman emperor who lived centuries ago? The answer lies in the timeless wisdom of his words. Marcus Aurelius didn't write Meditations for fame or fortune. He wrote it as a personal guide, a way to remind himself to stay true to his values. Yet in doing so, he created a blueprint for how to live a meaningful life. His teachings remind us to focus on what we can control, to let go of anger and resentment, and to strive for virtue even in the face of adversity. In today's fast-paced, often chaotic world, Marcus's philosophy feels more relevant than ever. We're constantly bombarded by distractions, overwhelmed by challenges, and tempted to chase fleeting pleasures. But Marcus's words invite us to pause, reflect, and ask ourselves, what kind of person do I want to be? What legacy do I want to leave behind? As he wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. So the next time you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or lost, consider turning to the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. His life was far from easy, yet he found a way to rise above his circumstances and stay true to his principles. His story is a powerful reminder that greatness isn't about wealth, power, or fame. It's about how we choose to respond to the challenges life throws our way. Marcus Aurelius may have been an emperor, but his philosophy is for everyone. It's for the teacher managing a noisy classroom, the entrepreneur navigating uncertainty, the parent trying to balance work and family, and even for you, sitting here watching this video. His life and teachings remind us of one simple truth. While we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond, and in that response lies our greatest power. If his story and philosophy inspired you as much as it inspires millions around the world, let me know by hitting that like button. It's a small action, but it helps this channel grow and reach more people who could benefit from these timeless lessons. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell so you'll never miss out on more fascinating stories, deep dives into history, and life-changing philosophies.